It's going to be given by Commissioner Hall.
Pray with me, please. Pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today, grateful for the tremendous life we live here to come just free country. We should never take that for granted. We realize that many people died to make that possible. That should be on our minds. Lord, in this Easter, time we just celebrated. We would just ask that you roll away the stone in our lives, much like the stone rolled the death precious Son of Jesus. Roll away the stone, misunderstanding and hatred, and roll the stone in our direction, Lord, we need rain. We ask that you would heal our parched land, and the rain from the heavens. And we know that this will come on your schedule. We thank you for give you the glory. Lord, we thank you for this county. Thank you for the many people each and every day to help us make Wichita County a better place. Lord, thank you for serving with individuals and all of the expertise, the tremendous ideas that they bring public each and every day. Lord, thank you. Blessings you bestow upon us. That you bless everyone here. Bless everyone here. First responders, protect our military that are out there helping and keep us safe. And Lord, we ask all this today. Precious Son, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag, allegiance, Texas state, one God, under God, and indivisible.
All right, do we have any presentations this morning that I'm not aware of? Okay.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, you got something? No. Oh, okay. All right. Then it is 10:04 a.m. We'll open up this time for public comment. As a reminder, we ask that everyone keep their comments to 5 minutes or less, and no action will be taken by the court on any item brought up during public comment. Does anyone have any public comments? Ms. Manning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to share some super exciting news. When I started campaigning before I got into my spot, one of my platforms was collections, because there's a lot of money out there that wasn't being collected. Well, I got my first check from TDC, and it was for over $1,100, but this is just a drop in the bucket. There was only 64 cases. I started with a small pool to test the waters and see how everything worked. But now that I know that that's how you do it, it's only going to go up from here. And I just wanted to share that with you because I was so excited when we first got that check. I almost cried.
Good. Okay. And I do appreciate you bringing that to the court. Leslie told me about that this last week. She was very excited about it, as you can see. And I thought it was important to let us know that something that we had talked about doing a year ago, more than a year ago, is actually followed up. That elected official has followed up with it in their office, and it'll benefit the county. So I was pretty proud of that myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just wanted to
So
brought out.
excited about it. Thanks, y'all.
Of course, now the bar is set and you can only...
A great journey starts with the first step.
That's right. Good deal. Thank you.
Good job.
Does anyone else have any public comment? All right, it is 10:06 and public comment is closed. Yep, at this time, let's move on to the consent agenda. And I don't know about y'all, I did not have a chance to read the monthly financial report from the county auditor this weekend. I would like, though, and I think Cheryl, you cannot be here for the 5th, is that right?
That's right.
What I may do is ask to put discussion of the report on a future Friday agenda so that we can ask questions.
Good.
Is it fairly typical for I guess it is for about a 3-week time frame from the end of the month when the report.
Making sure
Okay.
everything gets closed out.
Okay. So I'll put that on a future agenda for us to, I mean, you can ask questions now, of course, but I didn't have time to look at it.
Did we want to discuss any on 6 with these handouts?
We certainly can.
I mean, I didn't know if there was something you were wanting to bring to our attention or.
Well, no, so item number 6 is, it's to approve and ratify my signature on the MOU with Wichita County, some of our local media partners, KFDX, KJTL, KGBO, and Southern Grid Advocacy. This is a follow-up to what we talked about, I think that was my first or second court, so early January. The grant program that we are pursuing to address commercial sexual exploitation in the county and to do some education.
We're filing the grant on their behalf. They'll be our subrecipient, but they have to have all these in place as part of their grant application.
Okay.
There was one fairly significant drop out from the standpoint of a partner that is not going to be participating. WFISD is not going to be able to participate, or I'm not sure if they're doing their own thing or what, but anyway, that's what's happening with that.
Motion to approve consent then.
Second.
Now,
Okay, do we have any public comment on the consent agenda? Okay, motion has been made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, that moves us on to general business. Item number 1, review and approve the regular bills for payment. Order County Treasurer to disperse payroll and bill payments within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, or electronically, unless directed otherwise, or may be picked up and ledgered in the Treasurer's office.
So moved.
Second.
Do we have any public comment on that item? All right, the motion has been made to approve by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. You know, the right side of this table is gonna have to get with it. All right.
The deep thought is.
That's right. Still waters running.
That's right.
Sometimes when you're thinking about it, you just don't.
That's right. All right, general business item number 2, open and take action as necessary on vending service bids.
Now Jeff gets to do his job.
Yep.
The official letter opener.
No one opens bids, quite like Commissioner Watts.
I did have, and it was a Cheryl question mostly, on that insurance, our renewal was, does that cover Lori and, Annette and Leslie?
Which insurance?
Public official coverage?
There is a public official, I don't know if they're covered on that. It should be all officials to some degree, they just don't have a bond.
Okay, I just didn't read the body of the insurance.
I thought TAC was all elected officials.
I think it's all officials,
But we don't
they're
create a
just not
bond.
bonded, so, because they're self-insured.
All right, we've got a bid here from Cantu's Vending Service. I will be happy to read all of this out loud if everyone wants me to, or, okay,
We were kind of looking for samples.
you know?
But anyway.
And then we have a second bid from, let's see,
You mind if I look at that?
Yeah.
I'm just curious if they.
Canteen, isn't it, Judge?
I'm sure that it is, I was just looking for.
They do list all the,
Yeah, it's from Canteen, North Texas.
do they do the same thing on theirs, just list it individually, all the items?
They do.
Okay.
I believe that's how the request for proposal was submitted. So, yeah.
And I'd make the motion that we take those under advisement.
Second.
There we go.
But very good.
Did we balance that?
Yeah, we balanced it out.
We made the motion on the candy, so.
Do we have any public comment on this item? All right, the motion has been made to consider the bids by Commissioner Watts, seconded by Commissioner Muller. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, the motion carries 5-0. Item number 3, open and take action as necessary on road material bids.
As good a job as Commissioner Watts is doing on opening bids, Bill Preston really set the standard. He would generally hum or sing.
Zach Burkett, Judge.
Okay.
Little entertainment in the interlude there.
You might just tell us if there's a chip bid. 3/8 and 5/8 is important to us.
Right there. Yep, so
3/8,
3/8, the origin is 25, Wichita Falls delivery is 4660, 4960 to Valley View, 4870 to Iowa Park, 49 to Burke, 5260 to Electra. 5/8 at origin is 28, Wichita Falls 4960, Valley View 5260, Iowa Park 5160, Burke 52, Electra 5560.
And we usually haul all our own, so pretty.
Yeah, really, it's the
The cold lay is 90. Jeff.
FOBs are the ones that really matter.
That's big city crushed concrete.
And it looks like the Big City crushed concrete one is strictly for 1.5 inch crusher run and 2.5 inch.
Yeah.
$12 at origin.
This is Wright's.
All right, and Wright's is doing emulsions. And I believe that's it. I wasn't asking.
The only thing we'll really do is these right here, these.
So 265 for CRS2, 265 for CSS 1H, 450 for MC30, and 295 for FOG.
Will you ever update our RFQ to, our RFP to take all the materials out that we don't use?
We did it this last time, so this is the new updated one.
And that's from Ergon.
All right. Their CRS2 is 266, their SS1 is 261, their Prime is 266, and their, is that FOG?
Yep.
Yeah, it's 261.
And
Got it.
they put some extra stuff down there. A pump charge of $75 and a
The
Minimum.
merge is what?
demerge $75 an hour. 2 hours free.
We can handle that.
Yeah.
That one was P2 emulsions.
Yep. And P2. Is this different?
Yeah, they don't ever come, but that's still the only ones we're gonna mess with.
So CRS2 is 301 a gallon, CSS1 is 268 a gallon, and Prime is 197 a gallon.
That's all really good.
And the last one is a hauling bid, Judge, strictly hauling, and it's from Randy Catlin.
All right, and for hauling, and who was it with?
From Randy Catlin.
Okay. And it's gonna be the same at any location. 3/8 is 292, 5/8 is 292, 1 inch is 292. Everything is 292. 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch, 3/8 screenings, and rock screens.
$2.92 a mile, anything we wanna haul.
Motion to take under advisement.
Second.
All right, motion's been made to take those bids under advisement. Do we have any public comment on this item?
It's not getting any cheaper, is it?
Soon, always soon.
Soon.
Did we only receive one chip bid?
No deletion again?
I think that very first one.
Okay.
All right, the motion's been made to take under consideration by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, item number 4. Discuss and consider for potential action Centrio Solutions LLC proposal for new phones and system and a TAAS package including training and technical support. Approved, authorized county judge sign the master services agreement and statement of work for a period effective April 19, 2023 through March 31st, 2028. So as a reminder, we had a Friday session on this proposal. The folks from Centrio came out and made a presentation to the court. At that time, we had asked auditor's office to work with Brendan and Centrio to get some numbers to us so we could compare apples to apples. And so they did. I thank Cheryl and Brendan especially for working so diligently to get that.
And Corey.
And Corey, yes, thank you. Always Corey. Corey loves the attention too.
Yes.
So, Judge, I've got a question on that. There was an attachment here, but I didn't know what that represents truly.
So I think that that is an attachment that that Corey put together to show, if I can find it, Jeff.
Well, I have a computer with all that stuff.
Yes, yes, you do. You can't make fun notes on your computer though. It was to show what we were paying on for our current phone services that matched up with some of what we would be paying for the new services, so that we could get an idea of just how much more a month we would be paying for the Centrio proposal. Because if you're looking at it in isolation, the Centrio proposal is a monthly charge of $46.39, and I think about 2,000 of that it's replacing what we are already paying for under our current phone.
Yeah, the current monthly, it indicates that just over 2,000, but that doesn't include internet, does it?
No, internet will still be on top of this regardless.
On top of both, okay. But it's something in here said that we had a $1,350 expense for maintenance in March. What would that have been for? It's at the bottom of Corey's sheet there, just a note.
9 hours, we must have had some work done.
Do you know, Brendan, what that was?
So we had Santa Rosa out for something.
Was it the district clerk's office or any of that
No.
that we'd have asked them to help with?
No.
But I think he took that out of the bill when he was looking at the aggregate.
Right.
I'd have to go back and pull the bill and
I'm
see
not
what
seeing
that
that. I
maintenance
don't
was
see that in my
about.
packet.
Is that common?
No, it's every once in a while we had a bunch of work done, but.
That's strange. Here, you can
But the increase in the cost is
So
gonna
our
be
monthly
roughly
increase is gonna go up what?
$2,600, but that includes the phones.
The new ones are 46, so it's gonna be 2,600 a month.
So we
So we're
paid
doubling our phone
roughly $500,000 in aggregate between
I
the
don't
first
see
time we
very
put
smart.
phones in and then we put phones in at the LEC. We
Right.
spent
So
over
different
$500,000 on phones.
Which we may be having to replace.
This
So
cost is
cost us
roughly
$368,000 for new phones and 26.
$240,000 over 5 years, so with the phones
With
and
the
their
phones.
maintenance. And
Cuts us
then-
in half. in our-
Yes, and then in 5 years, we can either redo this and we'll get brand new phones, or we can part ways, or whatever we choose.
Yeah. See, because even prior to the $500,000 for a 5-year deal, we were paying around $12,000 a month AT&T for 20-year-old phones.
Right.
And so it was an option at the time but now, I mean, I guess every year it gets smarter and better and
Well, we discovered this came up when they're moving into the new offices downstairs. We are wired easily to do VoIP phones. of that $389,000 purchase of those phones back in 2016, none of those phones are compatible with VoIP.
Correct.
So we are either going to have to run,
Lines.
we don't have to run copper wire down there, we would just have to do some backwards
Yeah, we'd have to do some wire
retrofitting.
work.
To make our phones work when people are moving into the new spot or buy new phones.
Now, Brendan, on last week, I talked to Dent at the appraisal district, and I mean, he was doing this the whole time I was talking with him. I know that they're on a VoIP system. What's causing that to occur? I just finally wanted to hang up.
It's too numerous for me to know
It could
without
be a
knowing the
lot,
system that they
lot
have.
of things.
Mhm. It could have been anything.
But we're a different provider than their provider.
Most likely.
Might be the same, but it's a separate entity completely to us, or separate function. Okay.
Will adding this challenge our bandwidth?
Not
We
even.
can handle.
Yes.
You always worry about, putting something, which this will be a pretty big deal.
We have plenty to cover.
Okay. What are we talking about? Did you mention how many units that was, Cheryl? I didn't.
There's like 480 units.
I seen it up near 500.
Yeah, and those can be tweaked as we determine who really needs
Adjust.
a physical phone and who can run it through their PC or
That's
headset
right,
or,
yeah.
but this is quoted out about 480 units, so.
So there may be some places now where we've got a physical phone, which we really need to review that from time to time anyway.
Correct, and that's so,
I mean, it's just like our computers, we went from
Yeah.
a desktop and a laptop to where now a dock will, do the
But
thing
in
we
5
look at.
years, who knows, we may be talking to you on the, but Brendan,
Which we already do, yeah.
think that after this, you've looked at what our options were, you brought this to the table, and you think that this is the way for us to go, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Brendan, from a staffing perspective, how much time do you or someone on IT spend on the phones?
Just working on the existing phone system? Oh, about maybe 10 hours a week.
And that goes away with this because
Yes.
someone else is running it.
And that is a call from, if Nancy has trouble, she's calling who?
That's almost an employee.
Us.
Yeah.
If, with the current phone system, if something has an issue, we're the point of contact.
No, I mean, with the new phone system, if Nancy
Oh.
has trouble,
Centrio.
she's gonna call the company like we'd call our phone
Their
company.
support line,
Okay,
which will assist
And what
with
kind of
any of the
warranty
issues
do
that we
they
would
say?
have.
okay, good deal. I'm convinced we should do this.
What kind of warranty do they have? I mean, if they're gonna supply all these phones right now,
So
are we gonna
it's a
have to be?
lease.
It's a lease?
Yeah, we're not
So
buying
they're
phones.
responsible, so short of you doing the office space thing where you're taking your sledgehammer to it, they're going to fix and replace
Anything.
whatever phones. It's their phones, they're taking responsibility, so short of just complete negligence, we won't have to replace those. That's why in 5 years we'll need to revisit this, but
Yeah,
who knows where we'll be in 5 years.
that's right.
So it will be a lease.
Judge, I make the motion, we move
Hold on.
forward.
We haven't got a question.
So I missed the presentation because I was on flood detail.
Oh, that's right.
So does this solve the ever-ending menu tree to try to get a hold of a human
Yes.
being?
Yes,
Yeah, we can build it to, each department can have one built. We can control every aspect of it. This will solve that problem.
Yeah, because that's a big source of frustration for people that I've talked to is you have to sit on the phone for 20 minutes before you can ever
Yeah, the
figure out
prob-
where to even go to.
Yes.
And then, good luck at getting somebody actually.
The problem though, Mark, is that, I mean, it's not easily solved because we can go to departmental numbers, but then they gotta figure out where to get the departmental numbers from. So, you know, you can call a number to call Cheryl, but where do I find the number? So, it's a whole re-education system. We can stay on the menu for a while till we get that designed and built, maybe the web page to indicate how department list of whatever numbers.
This is a lot easier. Instead of it being programming where I'd have to go in and actually change the way the phones are routed, you can build a culture, and it's so much simpler in this regard. So for every department, for every entity, anybody here we could make a call tree for it and roll over from phone to phone to
Right.
phone.
So a person calling in, how would they be greeted and how would they be directed?
However you want it to be. It's fully customizable, so no matter what you want, we can make it happen. There's not a default, there's different patterns you can pick from, but we can custom tailor it. It can be custom tailored to whichever department, however they want it.
So it'd be like, Mark, if you didn't have a menu and you just knew the number direct to Lori or
Yeah.
to Tommy's office, you'd kind of get that greeting and then pick where in the department you wanted to go.
So it won't be like now, you call in and you get the recording and
Voicemail.
press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It-
Start over.
It
press
depends
1,
on
2,
which
3, 4.
number you call and what we want to do. We can have it where there's a main number and then it does break down to department. There's as much, whatever we want to do, we can do it. It's just gonna be sitting down and figuring out how we want the call
Right.
to just come into the courthouse.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
gives us a lot more option, and it allows the expertise to install that from their side, how they feel it'd be best, and fix those problems without it being a burden on Brendan to have to.
And I believe from our visits about this, your desk phone can actually be sent to your cell phone, so you're never really away from your desk phone number.
Correct.
And that includes voicemail, et cetera.
Yeah,
It can
the
be
system
sent to your
always
laptop.
exists on
Yeah.
our
I mean, that's
network.
The way I saw the demonstration.
Yeah, and they're gonna provide training. We talked to them about training, and they're gonna do preemptive training. We'll do it virtually. We'll do several sessions, so you can just log in at your own time, whenever it's convenient. That way we're not shutting down whole offices, and then they'll also be on site when they do it to give some additional trainings.
Right.
You know, it makes a lot of sense, and I think our public perception will be better, because I just have to believe that there are people out there that, in a particular business or whatever, that call the courthouse and call the same department a lot. You know,
Well-
whether it be,
Well, when we had a phone book, that was called the auditor's office, because it starts with A. So-
yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, that would be so much better to have a direct access. Oh, okay, you're an automobile dealer. Who are you gonna talk to up here? You're gonna talk to the tax office more often than anybody else. And so you don't need to go through all those steps. Just think how much of a better perception that will be to the public. And a lot of times we don't completely understand how frustrating some of this stuff is to somebody that doesn't deal with it every day, so.
Well, that's
And-
pretty common
It's hard for me to
complaint that I
Yeah, it
hear.
is.
is
I'm doing the
Your
same
telephone
thing.
system is
Yeah.
terrible. I don't even call anymore because I never get to speak to anyone.
I've heard that very same thing, Mark, and we need to realize that and avoid that. That's who we work for.
That's our customer interface.
Yeah, we need
That's-
to provide better service, and
Yes.
I think
I
this could
agree.
help.
And
So-
what, Brendan, do we do on the individual lines? We've been real restrictive, I guess, is when we came back in with the new system. But will more people have, will Cheryl's department, can I call Cody direct line number now, or how will that change?
Within the county, like from one of the county phones, everybody will have an extension, you just call it. Outside, it depends on what you guys want. I would advise against very many direct dials. I'd say as little as possible.
Maybe just per
Everybody has an
department.
extension. And if you know which extension you want, it'll call in main number. Like you hear when you call most places, if you know your party's extension, please enter it now. And you enter that extension and it dials straight to them.
So when you call out from the courthouse,
Yeah, what
when you,
We can set the outbound caller ID to
okay,
whatever is
good.
necessary.
So it won't be a PBX and then no one leaves a message and
Right.
you don't
Correct.
ever know who called.
Yes, that can be set. It can show,
That-
for people that you want it to, if you want it to show your number, it can, even extension. If you want it to show
At least
the
an
main
office
courthouse
suite,
number, it'll just
so I
show the main
know
courthouse
where
number.
to start.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Mark, when you set your phone to receive those calls and you call back, it's not your cell number, it'll be your
Your office number.
office number showing, as long as you operate in that app.
But if we had this thing up and running, I'd say within 6 months or so, we'd get some pretty good ideas of what the real popular direct dial deals were, and, you know, I mean, it may be Leslie, it may be either one or both of the clerks. We're gonna be able to have the data, I assume.
Yeah, the
how to
Right.
analytics
And it
are a
can
lot
change
better.
over time. It's
How
not
to
set in stone.
Address that.
Yeah, we will have far better reporting, so we can see where calls are going, who's getting more than others. We'll be able to tailor it much better and give you much better information.
And we decided to forego any of the recordings at this point in stage unless somebody adamantly would want that.
It's not an extra cost, it's a feature, so it can be turned on or off depending on who requires it and who doesn't. So yes, it's something that you either have or you don't, but it's not an extra cost.
Good. Okay.
Very
Well,
good.
I'd still reiterate the motion to
And-
move forward.
I'll be happy to second.
Cheryl, Mel, this is moving forward. We don't have any costs in the agenda item.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see
And-
max.
Well, my question was gonna be then to, or do we come back with a second motion later on with
We
what the
can.
cost is and with where it's coming out of?
Yes, we can do that in a second.
Okay. So, did everyone understand that?
Come back with the second motion to assign a cost.
Yeah, at
Cost
a,
and
later
allocate
court.
the expense.
because there are a couple of specific agreement items we still need to hammer
Right.
out with them, like on,
And this will allow Brenda to move forward with getting an accurate phone count.
Okay.
so,
We're close to it.
And build it all
Basically
to
like
the
assigning a
auditor.
project number on a building project.
Right.
Almost.
We're giving the go-ahead, the nod to move forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got it.
and I think on the financials of it, it's $2,600 more a month than we're paying now. Honestly, I look at that as a monthly prepayment for better customer service on the outside, better service for us, and honestly, just paying for a new phone system instead, which we were looking at having to do. And I was,
The cost
If
savings
it
is
makes it easier
extraordinary.
for our citizens, that's a very low cost to pay to make things more easy and convenient for them.
well, and honestly, I was taken aback at the cost of the phone system. That was 2016, that was 7 years ago
Yeah,
too.
yes.
I'm sure that phones haven't gone down since
Yeah, I
then.
think if we had to replace it, we'd be closer to the $1 million mark, so we're coming in very, very cost efficient.
And how do we, or do we, concern ourselves with the vast array of differences? Like, so if I'm Leslie, she calls in, she wants Hawaiian music playing before clerks do it, and Nancy wants Elvis singing. I mean, how do we style that so there's a uniformity across the initial greet when you call the department, or do we concern ourselves?
You don't want to embrace the chaos?
I didn't know if we needed to centralize it, or we need somebody to help us with that, or, you know,
Good
there's,
question.
there's seasonal greetings. I think we've used them in the past at one time where holiday you could get a special greeting, or a certain time of year you could use, and it's a recorded.
And they're gonna
function.
want you to change them greetings weekly.
Now,
So if you could,
We
Well, it won't be
can-
him, it'll be Centrio.
we can approve
Oh,
who
yeah.
is allowed to make those changes, and we can, as oversight, to see when that
Less
can
is more,
happen.
though.
But
no.
yes, that can all be changed, and it would be up to you guys to determine.
I hadn't even thought about that. I can't even believe you stepped out there.
That's always
But I'm,
I want to hear your Hawaiian
It's,
music.
You challenge the right side of the table.
I think y'all go back to thinking of it.
I really think we ought to insert one of those little beeps that you get from a telemarketer, and that will cut down our number of calls considerably, because everybody will hang up when they hear it. No, let's don't do that. Let's don't do that.
okay.
Well, good. We'll work those out then as they
Yeah,
come.
that's much.
All right, and the motion to move forward has been made by Commissioner Watts and seconded by Commissioner Beecham. Do we have any public comment on this item?
Are we gonna appoint the music committee to that?
That'll be a later date. And then I'll come back to the court in a week or two with the specific dollar amounts and asking for approval on that as well. All right, motion's been made by Commissioner Watts, seconded by Commissioner Beecham. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, item number 5, discuss discuss, consider, and/or take action on one of two settlement options from TAC RMP on the total loss appraisal of Sheriff's Office 2018 Tahoe wrecked on February 20, 2023. We've got two options here: to retain the vehicle, gives an actual cash value, salvage value, and a deductible deducted from that for a net settlement payment of $23,711.67, or to surrender the vehicle. It's the same, except we don't lose the salvage value, and that would be a net settlement payment of $27,211.67.
Patrick, I know that y'all had looked at the statement from the insurance company, and it was really detailed in a lot of aspects, but it's not easily, you can't easily see the vehicle and the equipment. It's kind of a blended thing, but you had indicated to me that you would like us to keep the vehicle at this low cost, and that way we can utilize it.
I do. As y'all have seen, our cars from time to time get into accidents. If we have the parts readily available, little things like headlights, taillights, doors, hood, all that stuff is, is salvageable from looking at the vehicle. Really the top and one of the sides is what's damaged the most. We've been able to salvage a lot of the equipment out of it, which in the end, when we start asking for more vehicles, is going to cut down a little bit on what we're asking for. So if we could keep the vehicle and have those parts available to give to Martin, even the motor, transmission. These things go out. That vehicle that was wrecked had 95,000 miles on it, and it's a 2019. We drive. We don't just sit idle.
95,000. I was gonna ask what the mileage was on.
And
Yes, sir.
would we, Patrick, you'd be in favor of then trying to track down one of those lower mileage, similar versions and pull it in here to replace this with, or what would you?
Our current fleet can accommodate this loss for now. When we'll ask, we're going to ask to replace vehicles with the coming budget, but no, we're not going to ask for anything to replace it at this time.
You believe your part salvage will bring more for the county than 3,500?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
I kind of.
You're buying the car for 3,500.
You got several other 18 Tahoes?
Yes, sir. And those parts are also for the 19s, and I don't think they'll fit the 17s, but I think they will fit the 20s too, especially the headlights and tail lamps. Those are all still year model same.
The engine transmission pretty much go across the line now, I think.
Yes, sir.
They
And y'all
pretty
do,
much. Those are
and
fine
wreck quite a
threes,
few of
I
them,
think.
so we do need parts.
It does happen, yes, sir.
The back door gets kicked all the time, those two doors there,
How much will them doors run?
1,500, 2,000 feet, you
Yeah.
can replace a full door.
So.
Oh, you just made up the difference.
Yeah.
A transmission would be 1,500 easy.
Engine transmission just about covered 35. If we've got the ability to take them off and put them on, this is a good thing. I'd make
Yes, sir.
a motion.
Motion to retain the vehicle.
I'll second.
Settlement payment.
Barry, did you make the motion?
Yeah, I did.
I'll second.
Nope. I thought it was me. Never mind. I don't care.
Patrick, Texoma told me the other day, we were talking and have ordered a 23 model pickup, and who knows when it's coming, but one thing he couldn't give us is those bumper protectors or the bumper replacements right now for the 23. Now, he's good to 22, but he said they have not came out with those. There is a change, and
No grill
that
guard?
change is throwing the grill guards off, and so they're having to, nobody's built them yet.
Our vehicles need grill guards.
Yeah, they are believers in them, and made me a believer in them just for keeping them, the front ends out of it.
They almost need like a record grill guard.
They do.
Yeah.
You know,
The more
big
the better.
channel iron
Yeah.
frame.
Kind of like Mad Max stuff
Yeah.
going on here.
Well, when you stop and think, a few inches behind that grill guard, you've got several $1,000s worth of plastic.
Yeah.
A grill guard is just, you've gotta have a grill guard of some kind.
Was this one that was the other party's fault?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This question came up, and remind me, Nancy. So, tax subrogation. We're at a $5,000 deductible that technically should be the at-fault parties.
They should cover.
Make us whole.
Right. But I think they said once that's settled, the subrogation, they would give us back our deductible.
TAC would.
TAC would,
So
yes.
TAC is working to,
If they subrogate it and they get that money back from their other insurance company, they will give us back our deductible.
okay.
And you would think there would be because they're out this money on somebody else's fault, and you would think there'd be the desire to drive forward through it, you know, I mean, and get the money back, but.
They'll move to, collect it.
Are they out? I mean, it's our deductible.
No, I'm
But
talking
this
about the
is-
23,000 they had to pay
Okay.
because, and it wasn't fault of ours.
Okay.
It's somebody else's fault. You'd think they'd want those to stand good and get their money back.
Yeah. All right, Commissioner Muller, you made the motion to take the option to retain the vehicle.
Retain the
correct?
vehicle for $3,500.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this item? All right, the motion to retain the vehicle was made by Commissioner Muller and seconded by Commissioner Fincannon. Although,
Judge, just another on that subrogation you brought up. Nancy, remind me or tell him about the truck incident. What did that Stephen say? You sent him some emails regarding the truck, but because the two trailers involved and caused by the same person did not reach the deductible, his comment was that they can do it if we ask them to do it, or?
Yeah, if we wanted to get money back from the at-fault insurance company.
And
They would do it after everything was settled on our end.
And Mel, that just doesn't seem the right way to for that to
I
work.
wasn't involved in any of those discussions, but was that with, are you saying that was with the TAC representative?
Yes.
Okay, well,
And so what he did, he's made us an offer to pay for the truck and with less the deductible. But because the two trailers that were damaged in the same wreck did not meet the $5,000 deductible, it's like they weren't gonna worry about that. They've been out no money, so
Yeah.
why should they? Well, I'm like, if you're gonna talk to the insurance company on behalf of number one vehicle injured, you should
recover.
talk about 2 and 3.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he left Nancy and I with the opinion that he wouldn't do that unless we pressed him to do that. And I was concerned with that. So,
yeah, kind of a different topic, but the same, yeah. All right, motion is, before us is on retaining the vehicle. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. And then everyone's favorite part of Monday Commissioners Court. Receive update on courthouse renovation, elevator projects, and county courthouse annex. Commissioner Beecham.
Well, I received word last week that I'm either gonna have one of my best birthdays ever, or it's gonna be really lousy, because we've got an elevator inspection, final inspection set for May the 8th.
yay.
So, let's hope for the best birthday ever.
Good.
May 8th, you said?
Yeah, I may have a cake and a party right out in front of that elevator.
And it's gonna be on the one.
That's a Monday.
Both,
Oh, it's gonna be on both.
on both. Fingers crossed. But that's what I was told. So, yay. Yay. Yeah, so movement on the elevators. Here at the courthouse, we still have a wall that's wet after the flood. We're still at 60% saturation as of this morning. We've got all the rest of the equipment's out of here except for the tented area. It's a wall within the 30th district office and, well, 2 sides of the wall. So it is shrinking, so hopefully that'll be dry by the end of the week. I did talk this morning to Liticon and see if it was more expensive to replace the wall or dry the wall, and because of the complications of how it makes different corners and everything, they felt it was better to go ahead and let it dry than try to rebuild it. So we've got that. Should be laying carpet this morning on the court administration office. Should be able to have them back in by midweek, which is a great thing. At least we'll have somebody back in their home. The old district clerk's area, we're moving very quickly, and on the construction of that temporary courtroom. That's going very well.
When, got up into the roof on that, when, into the ceiling tiles and that, figure out if we were gonna go ahead and make some of the bigger changes that were envisioned, or,
We are on some of the mechanicals. We're gonna make some mechanical changes. We did go ahead and close off a window. You won't see it from the inside. We did, because we would have had to have abated it. I didn't wanna do 2 sets of abatement, so there was some thought of changing that window out to make the accommodations for the way the walls connect. Thought it was better to wait till we did the whole project with windows after learning we had to abate it, so rather than bringing the abatement folks in twice to do it, it's more economical to close it. But no major changes other than we're gonna cap off the jury area.
And what are we thinking? Do we have a price tag on the district clerk's renovation or the former district clerk's renovation as far as putting that
We
in?
set the max budget and have
Is
it,
it
283, I think.
280?
I think we set the max at 300, though, just to
300,
allow some,
okay.
because we had a lot of unknowns.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's moving. Still doing punch list items on the first floor. Hopefully get all of those things resolved quickly. Just, we got everybody so scattered out then, right now it's hard to complete one item. But everything's moving. Look like the front of the annex is nearing completion as far as the EFS is concerned. I don't think we have all of our lighting fixtures in yet, so that's still yet to come.
Have we changed the signage for Leslie there were construction board signs, they were pretty fancy signs, but had a printed layout of where the floor, or where was on which floor. Have we changed that now that people come in security and look at a sign and see that you're no longer on the 3rd floor?
There's about 70 odd signs that are part of this project that have been ordered. They're just not here yet. That's why everything's in paper right now.
But there'll be a master sign that's security.
There
somehow?
is, there's signs all over. I mean, everything on the first floor is all new signs. There are some wayfinding signs as part of this project, but yeah, it's 60, 70 signs that are going in.
Okay. Do we have any questions on this one?
You have any updates on our last 2 projects, the glass up front and the awnings out back?
Oh, I thought about that last week. I'll ask.
Yeah,
The awnings, yeah, I don't know what's up with the awnings. I'll follow
The
up.
glass was approved like in November and it was
Yeah.
still,
Yeah, the awnings, I'm not sure why those haven't been done.
okay,
That's outside of Littleton, so
yeah.
I'll follow up. But the glazing, bulletproof glazing, maybe just waiting on glass, because that glass is a long lead item if
Okay.
you want a bunch, and that glazing is more than just regular glass, so.
Okay. Well, we hadn't heard anything, so I didn't know.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
either. I haven't either.
Any other questions? Any public comment on this item? Okay. It is 10:50. Court is adjourned.